Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Indianapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Massachusetts,
Georgia, Canada,
our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
my
DVC points.
Well, welcome home, everybody, to episode 51 of the Community Hall Live podcast. My name is Chad Pennycuff, and I am your host tonight. And every Sunday night, we get together with DVC members and host a conversation about pertinent topics that are going on in the community. It could be some hot issues, it could be a resort review, but our show is dedicated to you, the DVC member, and helping you get the most out of your membership. And we take a lot of pride in airing member thoughts. We try to have a variety of people on our shows and our podcast, and we love doing the live show because that gives us time to take your comments that you're going to post, put them up on the screen, talk about them, discuss them, and facilitate this community conversation as well. So thank you for tuning in and joining us tonight. I also need to give a huge shout out and thank you over to Monera Financial for sponsoring season 6 of the My DVC Points platform, where I've got to update my ad here. It's not 9.9 anymore. They have lowered their rates. I was just on their website. If you were paying more than 8.9% on your existing DVC loan, go ahead and give them a holler and see what they can do for you. I know we have been promoting refinance of DVC contracts for a couple of years now, and we have helped members save hundreds of thousands of dollars. And trust us, you're going to need that extra money to pay for Disney Genie or whatever else that Disney's up to next. So you might as well come back in and refinance that contract, save a little bit of money, because they're just going to turn back around. And, well, in all honesty, in our house, the mouse gets all the money anyways. So MoneraFinancial.com. They'll help you put more money into your pocket, and then you can choose to give it to the mouse or not, which is going to be the basis of our conversation tonight. So that being said and done, I'd like to welcome back into the show our regular co-host, Marianne. How you doing tonight, Marianne?
Hi, Chad. Oh, the mouse. That mouse wants money.
That mouse, Mickey needs his cheese now,
Mickey wants his money, so here we go.
Isn't that pretty accurate? I mean, the mouse gets all the money, right?
Well, and he's going to get, unfortunately, I think he might get a whole lot more with what's coming down the pike. Or will he? I don't know.
That's what we're going to discuss tonight. So let's come back in and bring in another co-host here, our regular contributor and co-host of the show, Mr. Brad Coates. How you doing tonight, Brad?
I am great. It is good to be back in the saddle again. We're back in the saddle again.
I'm telling you, Brad, we took some time off this summer. I had a lot going on and kind of get through some life changes and summer travel, and we're back at this. Although we will be taking off next Sunday night, we'll be taking off due to Labor Day weekend. We're going to be dark on Labor Day weekend, but right after that, we'll be back in with weekly shows. However, if you do tune into our Facebook page, I will be in Walt Disney World, and you can better believe I will be going live quite a bit on the Facebook page, either the public page or within the My DVC Points community. So you're not going to be without live content. I'll guarantee you that. I wouldn't do that to you. But we are now catching up, and we've let this thing sit out there for 2 weeks, and we're just going to come in with a recent changes overview. And so we've heard about Disney Genie coming for a couple of years now. They threw some pebbles out there at D23, and now we actually got a little bit more details into it, but not enough details to make anybody happy. So we're going to come back in and do a quick recap here. So the first thing is Disney Genie, and Disney Genie is going to be a free service. It'll be built into the My Disney Experience app, and you can essentially think of this as Disney's version of touring plans. If you've ever been to the website touringplans.com, Disney Genie is Disney's version, their official version of touring plans. Because Lynn has been serving millions and millions of people every year through touring plans for just a minor $15 annual subscription fee, and you got a lot of great information and a lot of great value for your $15 from touringplans.com. Still recommend that site. and we'll see what happens with Disney Genie. I think there's still enough great site out there, even if Disney Genie is all that and a bag of chips, that touring plans is still worth it. But that's essentially what Disney Genie is. And then the next thing that they offered was Disney Genie Plus. And the plus means you're going to have to pay for this. If you're familiar with MaxPass over at Disneyland, the Disney Genie Plus, in our opinion, is kind of a stripped down version of MaxPass. And I say it's stripped down for two reasons. One, MaxPass added an electronic option, but they didn't take away anything. MaxPass also gave you PhotoPass for the day as well, included with it. That's not coming with us in the new versions. The other thing was MaxPass worked for every single attraction that had a FastPass line. That's not going to be the case here when this thing rolls out, because the next one up there would be the individual attraction selections. And what that is your very, very, very hot e-tickets that just came out. You're not going to be able to use Disney Genie Plus for. You're going to have to do a pay-to-play system where you pay to get a fast pass specifically for those rides. So you could open up your wallet and pay for Disney Genie Plus. You can turn again and open up your wallet and pay again for individual fast passes. So because you've got to pay that extra, I think it's a scaled down version. But that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And then our final question that we will get to is what would make this appealing to DVC members. But we'll save that one till the very end. So let's come back up here with Disney Genie equals copy of touring plans. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well,
I am a huge tour.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Marianne.
I'm a huge touring plan. I'm a huge touring plans fan. I love touring plans. I use it I buy it every year. I have since the early 2000s. I feel like it's because it's an unbiased plan. You know, they aren't biased towards where they want you to go in the park. It's really effective. I think that Disney's version of it is going to be a way of population control within their park and moving people where they want you to move. And, you know, I don't like being controlled. So, and I also really, I pretty much know my touring plan in my head. I don't want my phone to ding at me when I'm playing with my kids and tell me, oh, hey, run now, run across the park because the line is a lot shorter over there. I don't want my phone to be attached to my hip. It's been really difficult when these last few trips where everything had to be done on my phone, where I had to mobile order food, where I had to do everything on my phone. It was frustrating. Genie is going to make people be completely dedicated to their phones while they're in the park.
That is, couldn't agree more. Two things one thing that you mentioned that I hadn't thought about before. I don't know about you guys, but I noticed over this last year, as I've been back there, you know, like I said earlier, like four or five times this year, my battery on my phone never survives because everything you're trying to do in the park, literally every moment you're having to bring your phone out as it is to get your food, to book your food, to find out when your food's ready, to, you know, and it just goes on and on and on. And now they're going to add this on. And if they do push notifications and it's telling you, hey, you might want to go over here. And it's like, shut up, leave me alone. So, and let me point out one other thing. And that we talked about this before we came on the pre-show. The one concern, my biggest concern is this. Listen, I'm like you, Marianne. I've been a client of touring plans for so many years, over a decade. I get their Disneyland, their Disney World, and their Universal. Because as a travel planner who specializes in those areas, those parks, I use it as an incredible tool. It's my number one selling tool. Clients that come back to me year after year because when I give them a touring plan, it's accurate, it saves them time, and it takes so much of the frustration out of their day. And I do that because I've dialed in on touring plans. I don't make any bones about it. It's an incredible tool. Now, they can do it themselves, but when you really know how to use it, it definitely gets better. But anyway, here's the challenge. Right now, if you bring up touring plans for Disney World, you pull up Flight of Avatar. It's going to say posted wait time. Everybody that's spent any time at Disney World knows that you can pretty much guarantee the time they've posted on the sign is not what you're actually going to spend in line. It's like they automatically inflated about 25% just to keep themselves from looking bad, I think. I don't know. Just seems that way, right? So when their new little software starts doing touring plans for you, are they going to use their posted wait times, which are never accurate?
Are they going to use the secret sauce in there, or are they going to put something that's accurate?
Exactly. Because when Touring Plans does it, it uses the accurate expected times, not the posted times. And so Touring Plan has a great track record of being accurate. I'm not against the Disney Genie. I'm just concerned about how effective it's going to be. So I'm going to definitely be testing it to see, because that makes me nervous. If they use their posted times, your touring plans are never going to work right. It's going to say, well, you'll be done. This will take an hour. And then you go to that next ride and you're going to get done, like spend 20 minutes walking in circles before you go to your next ride.
You brought up a really good point here, Brad. So if Disney is now publishing falsified information about what the wait times are, because now before they could, and it was no big deal, right? Yeah. But now are they going to be posting false information and then a little buy button over here saying, hey, we've inflated this 25%, but if you don't like this, hit the buy button, and now you can come back in and do the Disney Genie Plus. Yeah. That's going to set up a really bit of a conflict of information if they start inflating those numbers again. Yeah. Okay, which in my mind, if they start doing that, I see class action attorneys just going after them on that one. Like, because now you're publishing false information in order to sell another product. To me, that's got some risk involved to Disney. So I think we're going to get some actual numbers that come up into the My Disney Experience app because of that. Okay, so I think that's an added benefit.
Or at least the calculating of Genie will use accurate times. You may not even know it. And they may still, don't you think they may still post them?
Well, the thing of it is I mean, look at how many people still have Magic Bands. They can put a Magic Band reader at the entrance gate and a Magic Band reader right before you get onto the ride.
And they'll know.
Okay. And they'll know exactly, because they'll use the same technology of, oh, I saw Brad coming in here that I used to put Brad's name up in Small World or over at Rock and Roller Coaster. And that same technology should be able to read you when you get on the line onto the ride. So they should have some really good information there. Okay. So I'm hopeful that we get more accurate information in Disney Genie now. But the other thing, I looked at it, I was just like, well, I already knew how to use your app. I already knew how to look for expected wait times. I already knew that, okay, if I go hit these rides during fireworks, while everybody's gathered around the castle, I can go hit in 2 or 3 big attractions with no wait. So it's like, I kind of feel like it's a rebranding of what they've done with a little bit of smoke and mirrors. Maybe they're coming in with some AI on it and they're saying, hey, try this. But to me, it's not news. It's nothing new. We've had touring plans for a while. And I still say buy touring plans, because I love the room reservation request feature in touring plans. They'll also give you the 2 dining reservation things for free. You can only have 2 out there. It's a limit of it, but it's free with that $15 a year. So I think it's a great deal.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I will always be a fan of touring plans. I will always buy touring plans if for no other reason than the lines chat on my phone that before I go on a trip, because they're my other group of people that always seem to be in the know, right? There's the people that seem to, and it's good to have multiple information sources, I feel like. So
yeah, that's true. That's very true, because at the end of the day, Disney Genie or touring plans, they're all just using an algorithm that isn't a best guess of it. Yep. There's nothing better than boots on the ground, which is something that the lines would do. So Jerry has a comment here. He's saying about the whole thing, it's fine. Universal has been doing the Express Pass for years. It's time to pay for the service. And I think it'll probably be better than just getting the pre-reserved 3 for free. And so let's talk about this one for a while. With the pre-reserved 3 for free, every single person got 3 fast passes. And I would imagine the vast majority of people either booked them at 60 days out or 30 days out. So you could pretty much guarantee almost everybody was utilizing that system. Okay. Now, when you compare this over to Universal, the sticker price on this is not cheap. The sticker price on here is telling you, look, it's $169, $100, $200 or more to buy that per day per person, unless you're staying, per day per person, unless you're staying in a deluxe resort. But there's only so many people that can stay in their deluxe resorts. And there's only so many that they sell, and they do cut it off after a certain point in time. Because if too many people do it, it messes over the standby people too much. And you look at that and you go, that $169, $200 price tag is a deterrent for a lot of people of doing it. But is $15 really a deterrent? I think people are going to be like, I'm already here for thousands of dollars. I'm just going to throw another 15 at it.
Yeah.
And to the point.
Go ahead. I was going to add one point to that, because there's another caveat that makes what Jerry's saying correct, in the sense that it's probably will be a little bit better, because the Universal Pass, I use that a lot because I usually stay in one of the deluxes. So there's been many times when I've gone there, and because with their Express Pass, it's just, well, you get to get in the short line, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a short line. When Transformers came out, it was not unheard of for me to get in the Express line, and it took me an hour and a half to get on the ride, because you're stacked up and you never knew. At least with the Disney approach, if they do the same thing as Max Pass, it won't let you, it'll tell you the right time to come back. So at least when you
it'll stagger
back,
people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is a really good
crowds, point. Which Universal doesn't. You just spend all that money for the pass, and then you roll the dice. So.
And then everybody does what they please.
Exactly. Okay? So you still got to learn at Universal to know how to ride this ride first before the crowds get here, because even if you have Express Pass, it's going to get nuts. So yeah.
It's also different that the way we got to pre-book 3 fast passes in the past. I was the fast pass girl. I would pre-book my fast passes first thing in the morning. Boom, boom, boom. And as close as I could pre-book them. And it was not unheard of for me at Magic Kingdom to get 15 to 18 fast passes in a day. Because as soon as we used that first fast pass, I would be moving my second fast pass up in time. And then as soon as I used that one, I'd move my third one up in time, and as soon as we banded in, I was on my phone getting the next fast pass. So it was not unheard of at all. I'm not sure that that's going to be possible with this new Disney Genie Plus system.
Well, that's what we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
They have said that we can have one at a time. Okay.
Yep.
Just one. Okay. One at a time. But Max Pass, you were one at a time too, but you had a 90-minute cooldown so that you could get a second one, which is a very fair way of doing things. Because let's say you get that fast pass for maybe it's Splash Mountain, maybe it's Space Mountain, okay? Maybe it's not the paid one, but it's the next best thing to it. And by 8 a.m. in the morning, they're giving out passes at 8 p.m. at night. If you're only allowed one and only one, you just spent $20 for one fast pass that whole day.
Well, and the challenge is going to be Disney World is just going to be different. But let me just tell you, for Disneyland, and so we're talking about Max Pass. Max Pass, I've used it 6 or 7 times. Every time was an absolute gem because I got my first one, and it would give you a time quicker. So like you say, like Marianne, you were describing that for Magic Kingdom, and all I could think about was, I'm going to call you and figure out how you do that, because usually with the really tough to get fast passes, they're gone for the day. So you can't move the time up. There's no more slots available. You can't get that ride if you didn't get it 60 days ago. So you run out of places, except for the rides where I really don't care if I get a fast pass. So, but the thing was with back to Max Pass. So I would get my first one. I go straight to the ride. As soon as I scanned it and I was in the line for fast pass, I would immediately get my phone out before I got on the ride, book my second one. I'd look to see, okay, what's nearby that has something right away. Boom, I'd grab it, get on, enjoy my ride, come right off, go straight over to get the next one. As soon as I got off the phone, I grabbed it again, and I grabbed it again, and I was seeing Radiator Springs Racers still available on my Max Pass at 3 and 4 in the afternoon, which has just never happened in Fast Passes. I was riding
that's
everything.
kind of an anomaly for it to go that late. Because normally that was selling out by, from what I studied it pretty heavily, Radiator Springs Racers was normally selling out by 10, 11, maybe noon.
Yeah, I
is
never
when it was gone. But
Now
either
I
way,
didn't do it that last because I was starting to do Disney World a lot. So, but still, I got everything in. I got the Radiator Springs in first. You still got to kind of learn, but you could just crank them, and so it was nice in that way, Marianne, because you could literally add the next one and then just basically look to see what's next, and it will. You could look and see which ones nearby were soon, and go grab it quick. So, if they do that same thing, in theory, that might work at Disney World. But the problem with Disney World is the flow of traffic and rides is just different at Disney World than it is at Disneyland.
It's really different, and it's spread out. So you can't just go from attraction to attraction.
And there's so many must-haves compared to Disneyland. So then you're like, well, crud. Which one do I go to first? I don't know.
So Dan here is saying, and we're just going to let Gina control comments tonight as well, because there's so many of them. We will not get to everybody's. So she's kind of curating them for us. And Dan Austin says, not sure we will use the Genie suggestions because I look forward to just staying in one area, doing everything that we want and move on. I get enough steps in. I don't want to go from one area to the next like a bunch of people who are using Genie, just running around that park like sheep, because it didn't matter too much in Disneyland because the attractions were right on top of each other. Every square inch was used. Walt Disney World, they space everything out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so you're going to be doing a lot more walking and a lot more steps that way.
9 times out of 10, I would take my touring plans. I don't know about you, Marianne, and then I customize, because if I tell it shortest time, then it bounces me around, and I'm with you, Dan. I take my touring plan, even if I booked it, and I go, now look at my map. Where is it taking me? And I don't like the flow. It may cost me 30 minutes in time, but I don't care. I want to go on this ride, this ride, this ride, this ride. I don't want to go back and forth. I'm an old man. I don't need my steps. Okay, at Disney World, I get enough steps. So, but that's a good
Andrew
point.
has a funny comment here. He goes, it seems more like a diaper Genie to me. I doubt I'll be a fan of it or use it much.
Oh, we need to get that picture for the when we post this a diaper Genie up there.
yeah, it's a diaper Genie. So. Let me see. Go ahead and put Jake's back up there. And Jake was saying, as someone who is local, I will not be using this service unless I'm taking someone for the first time or it's a special occasion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think you're just going to have to budget in the cost of this. And Ron's saying maybe I'm the minority, but regardless of how things have always been, I don't mind paying a little extra for something if it truly enhances the overall experience for me and my family.
I agree. Right? I'm the girl who does that, right? I buy party tickets. I buy dessert parties, so fireworks viewing and all of that. And if this turns out to being fantastic, then I will be the girl. I'll be eating crow, and I have 5 people in my family, so I will be paying out the wazoo for this. But they're going to have to prove it to me first, because anything based in Disney IT, I just don't trust.
That's a reality there, okay? Adam is saying if they gave everyone 3 at a time, there's a higher likelihood that all the attractions would be gone an hour after rope drop.
Good point.
And Adam, that is very, very, very true. If you looked at Max Pass, it was designed for people who are rope dropping and spending all day in the parks.
And it worked.
And it worked well, because I could get 10 to 12 e-ticket,
at least,
like e-tickets, the premium ones on Max Pass over in Disneyland in a single day. And it was all about managing that timer. And as soon as, if you knew in 91 minutes you could get another Max Pass, you'd grab your phone, hit the side button, and hey, Siri, set a timer for 91 minutes. And then as soon as Siri went off, you were on there to see what you could snag next. And then if it was 30 minutes, then 30, whatever the timer would be, or as soon as you banded in, if you were not on a cooldown timer anymore, you grab your next one. And by doing that, you could do it, and it really worked out well. So Maria's saying Max Pass is awesome in Disneyland. It feels wrong in Disney World because it used to be free. I hope it's going to be great, but it might take a few years to calm down. And I think that is the main rub that most of us feel. We don't mind paying extra for something that's extra. And in Max Pass, it was extra because they didn't take away the paper Fast Pass system. You were just paying for the convenience of doing it digitally, which I'm all about. Okay. I'm with Ron and everybody else, but here they took something away, and that's what members are really
now they're
upset about.
monetizing it.
And they're monetizing it.
Yeah.
Had you just kept a base level for free and then offered this as an additional, and for an extra convenience and extra this, we're paying for it, I don't think anybody would have flinched at it. Then
there's a lot of people who are talking about that and it's kind of expecting that to come down the pike, that one day we'd have to pay for extra fast passes. But yeah, anyway,
which
sorry.
I would have been fine for
I'd
as
have been
well.
fine. I'd have paid for it.
I was all in on if you were staying in a grand villa or a cabin or a bungalow, you could pay $50 a day and get 3 extra fast passes plus guaranteed viewing at a nighttime spectacular.
Yep.
I was game with that, right?
Yep.
Katie Jean saying, I agree.
Absolutely.
I'll pay more if it makes the experience more enjoyable. In April, I spent so much time on lines that I didn't get to many snacks or to shop.
That's
So,
sacrilege.
Yeah.
Snacking and shopping has got to happen.
Yeah. That's the one thing I can always do is I just go in there and snack and shop on a day as well and not pay the Max Pass and just get my snacking, shopping, and soaking up the atmosphere of.
Well, you
everything
can't
that
because you're going to
Disney
live
has
right
going on.
next door. So
Yeah, but I mean, even before
Sure.
we went for 10 or 12-day family vacations.
sure. Just
So
take a day, enjoy them.
you could do that as well. And Getaways with Angela is saying you have to wonder if they'll improve the wait time accuracy for the freemium version. And we talked about that earlier. I think they're going to have to. Otherwise, they're committing fraud if they don't give us the most accurate information that they possibly have. Right? I'll just go ahead out there and say that. It is fraud for them not to use accurate information.
Mhm. It is.
And Andrew is saying if they make use of it in the water parks, I'm done with Disney. But Andrew, I thought everybody that I've known that's been over to Universal's, that Tapu system is the bomb.
Honestly, it works good. It does.
Yeah, so I mean, I would welcome it at the water parks if.
But guess
if they
what?
could-
It's free at Volcano Bay for Tapu.
Yeah, don't you have to buy the Tapu band though? Like,
Don't think so. No, they just handed it to us when we went through the gate.
okay, well, that's cool too. So, anyways, Gina says we're now on individual attractions is the new pay-to-pay fast passes.
Here we go.
So my question out there to you guys is, what attractions are you paying for and how much are you willing to pay? Let's start with the big one, Rise of Resistance. Marianne, what are you paying to get on it, or are you?
Okay, this is the part that sucks for me because Katie Tracy is the biggest Star Wars fan known to man, right? She loves the stupid ride. So I'm going to have to pony up every time we go and pay for the stupid ride because it'll be the one thing. It'll be that thing. But for my family, if we are all there, that's $100 if it's a $20 ticket. It's $100. And
So at
what's
what
going to
point-
really tick me off, I'm going to say it right. No, this is what's going to really tick me off. I'm going to pay that $100. We're going to get in that line, and then we're going to get through all the line, and we're going to have done the first part of we're going to ridden, and we're going to get captured, and we're going to be on the ship waiting to go. We're going to be, and the ride's going to go down. And then
We have a
I'm going to have to
pessimist in
deal
the
with
house.
Getting,
Well,
I'm going to have to deal with getting my money back because I'm going to get to ride the.
is it a pessimist,
I'm just
Brad,
saying
or is
it
it a
now.
realist?
Yeah, there you go. They're
Right.
kissing cousins. So,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it'll be. I'm
Okay.
normally a whole lot more Pollyanna about things, but this one has me worried.
I won't be. I'm with you. They'll be paying me back if I paid for it and I don't get it.
So, Marianne, at what price per ticket are you breaking Katie's heart? I don't know if we We lost her. If you're just deep in thought on that one.
She's deep in thought because her eyes are moving back and forth.
Have you seen those? Have you seen those? Have you seen those big blue eyes on that kid? I don't know, Chad. But what? Maybe
$50
this will be it.
$50 a person. Are you
Maybe
in?
I'll buy it. Maybe no. That she'll have. Well, it'll be like her lightsaber. She can save up the money herself, right?
There you go. Yep.
If she really wants it, she can do her chores and save up the money for that herself. $20 is probably my limit. I think that's probably everybody's limit. I mean, I don't see anybody paying more than $20 for one of these. If they pay $20.
I think
Now, am I paying this over at? I'm looking at Hollywood Studios other rides. Am I paying this for Runaway Railway? Heck no. Am I paying this for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train? Hello, standby line.
Negative.
Yeah, hello, standby line. We'll rope drop and stand by. We're rope droppers, so I don't mind that. But no, and no.
Okay, Brad, what price are you willing to pay to go on this? And at what price are you out? And those of you who are tuning in, listening as well, what price are you willing to pay and when are you out?
So I think Marianne, we have to give a little caveat here. You're talking to us. We've been there lots of times.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming back a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So
very true.
So my price point is going to be very different than somebody else's. I paid $250 a person to do the VIP tour so I could get on Flight of the Navigator after my third time of trying to get fourth time trying to get a fast pass, and within 10 seconds, all gone. I could never get a fast pass. So I paid $250 a person for my birthday. That was happy birthday to me. So we could get on Flight of the Navigator for the first time. And you know what? For me, it was worth it.
So that was like $1,000+ Brad, because wasn't there like four of you?
So if it was the right ride, you'd be surprised what I'd be willing to do. But it'll be several years of me not being able to try to get it. So if we're talking about price point where just that's a ride I want to ride, it's the best ride. It's the one I wanted out of all the things I wanted to ride. And I haven't tried before to try to get it in a standby line. I would probably max out at $25 a person to pay for it.
Okay.
Outside of that, now it's like I'm either going to try for 4 or 5 years, and then if I don't get it, then you might be able to get more money out of me because I really wanted to ride that ride. But I would never pay $250 for any other ride. It was just that one I could never get on.
So I guess for me as an individual, if it's hot and I need to be able to talk about it on social media for that reasons,
there's another.
I'm paying up to $50. Okay. I'm not going to lie, but it's just because I do this. As a normal Disney fan, $20 is about my breaking point. And will I do it every trip? No. If I don't get a boarding pass for Rise of the Resistance, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah.
I've done it a few times. And so David Kluver is saying, last year, my whole family went to Disney and we went to Galaxy's Edge. I missed both times to get on Rise. I would have honestly and happily paid $20 a person a ticket on the ride, considering the trip was $4,000.
Yep.
And I think that's a great perspective. I work with people that are huge Star Wars fans that are we go to Disney maybe 5 years. He would have been paying hundreds of dollars a person to do that as well. And Dan Austin is saying the good news is on those key rides is you can still do virtual queue. If you can't get one and has never been on the ride before, maybe $20, no more than $20.
But here's hold on before we move on from that one. Dan, what are you saying by those rides on virtual queue? Because the rides that are going to be the add-on pay, you can't get on Genie Plus.
Well, you can get Rise on virtual queue.
That's a boarding group. That's a boarding group, and it's
like
not even going to be
group.
offered. It's not even going to be offered as a pay. So it's staying boarding.
No, they've said flat out, Rise of the Resistance will be virtual queue, boarding groups, and individual attraction pay to ride. If you don't get it, you can always pay. And they did that for those people like Andrew or like David was saying, they came here just for that ride. They didn't get it. Their heart's broken and they want on the ride. And That's a great limiting factor then as well.
Hey,
Andrew saying,
sorry, Gina, you were going to put up the link to the parks blogs because I'd love to see the article that's being quoted from, because the articles I read have actually said they hinted the opposite, that it was not going to be, and there'll be some.
yeah, this was Josh
right
Tomorrow saying it on video. Okay. So it came straight from Josh.
Okay,
right?
cool.
So Andrew, let's go back to that one.
Okay.
And he's just saying, I'm too old. I've been to WW so many times. I got used to the way we do the parks. This just makes me want to give up. Don't know. We'll see. I think that's just a reaction to change as well, Andrew. So I think there could be a lot of good things here, but it's definitely change. And we're getting the money grab combined with change all at the same time. And I think that's part of why this is going so south in the community. But it's not the greatest rollout that Disney has ever done as well. So Samantha was saying she's with Mary Ann. I do $20 per person for Rise, but much more than that. Okay. And Amy saying, I will do it once for brand new rides, even with my little family of 3. I don't see myself paying more than $7 to $10 a ride. I'm cheap. And, well, I think there'll be options for that as well. And Maria saying $50 per person for the first week of a new ride, $20 per person for the first year, $15 thereafter.
I like that.
That seems pretty decent.
It's not going to happen, but I
But that brings up a really good deal, because this is all done through Disney and they track us. They could be able to do individual pricing where we're not all paying the same price as well. So where they know Marianne's money spot is this point, but Brad's is this point. And so they offer something within your deal to get you to buy it. Okay?
Well, you mentioned about class action suits and presenting one thing one way and another. To me, that one would set them up even more so than the other, because you're literally charging one person for the same service, exact same service, more money.
It all depends on what their distinguishing factor is. But yeah, I could see him doing it, Brad. I could see him doing it. I'm not putting anything past this.
Yeah, we are talking.
Right?
Yeah, we're talking.
Yeah,
Disney.
we're talking Disney here and their ability to money grab, which is pretty extensive. Kathy says,
this is where I
see
agree. This Kathy right here. This is where I agree. This is Kathy.
Well, let me
I'm
read the
full
comment.
over there.
Let me read the comment before we comment on it. Okay. So I don't see paying extra for anything after paying so much for park tickets.
Yeah.
And I think that comes back into a key point of why, like at Cedar Fair, you pay $40-$50 for your park ticket and then $100 and something for the fast lane, if that's what you want. Here, we're already paying a premium ticket, and it's premium on premium, which is a thing that's like rubbing people the wrong way as well. So I kind of get that one as well. Marianne, you were saying?
For our December one-day trip, I bought a ticket for Tom. He doesn't have an annual pass. His park ticket that day with tax was over $140. And now I'm going to have to buy extra tickets for him to ride, or for Genie Plus. That really is hard to stomach. And that is, I think, it's due to change, but partially it's that. But I also look at it as a DVC member. If it was my family's once in a lifetime trip, I think I'd probably pay the money to the mouth and just say, this is the once in a lifetime blowout. Here you go, mouth. Have my money.
Yeah, which is leading into what Ron is saying here. And he says, I feel as DVC members, it will make sense for us to pay as much as it takes for the newest, hottest rides once or twice. If you think about it, that this will free up spots for those who don't go as often over the long term. And I think that's pretty much going to be it, is I'm not paying for everything again, and I'm not going to pay for Max Pass for everything again, because I know there's times when you can go during the fireworks show and a lot of this stuff is walk-on. So it's like, why do I have to come back in and pay for something when I could just use the legit touring plans and figure out when to get it and do it for free?
And and I'm kind of in that same boat with Disney World, and maybe that I'll go like I do at Disneyland, I will get the Max Pass one day,
Mhm.
not every day of my trip. Because in one day, because both parks are right next to each other, I just hit all the e-tickets. And like you said earlier, Chad, we can do 12, 14, 15 passes on that Max Pass. And we did them all and did some twice. And I was done. So at Disney World, if I buy it, it will never be for every day. It'll be for one to hit those 1 or 2 rides that's going to be beneficial to me. And outside of that, I'm with you. I'm good.
Yeah. Some of the other comments here where Bruce was saying $20 max for a select few, Rise of the Resistance, Tron, maybe Guardians, the hot new things. And then Amy saying Remy will be the same way as Rise. It will be virtual group or pay to play only, no standby. And no standby, but it could be like they had this week as well, where they haven't sold the tickets, they haven't got the boarding groups, people aren't trying to get them, so they opened up standby. So I could see that happening as well as Rise starts to lose this elusive spot. Because the other thing is, once you put it behind a paywall, it's like everybody wants into a crowded restaurant for some odd reason. I think that's going to end up curtailing over time as well. And I like Adam's thought here. He goes, I think this is one benefit of this new system. I go with my extended family every 6 years or so. The paid fast passes will all but guarantee that we'll all be able to get on. And I think that is a brilliant point, Adam. And I think that's something that they did try to come back in and communicate in the videos, is they are concerned about those once every 5 years, 6 years, once in a lifetime guests. They do want them to be able to get on the experiences, and this will make that happen for them. So I think that is a huge benefit there as well, Adam. I couldn't agree with you more. And I know Josh brought that up in his video as well. And okay, so we're kind of running out of time. So let's just jump down to, we got the little magic banner up from Gina kind of pushing us on this one. She goes, what would make this appealing to DVC members? And Marianne, what would it take for you to come back in and go, okay, well, this isn't so bad?
Well, I guess if they threw it in as a blue card benefit, they're not going to give it to every DVC member. Let's be real. But
no,
maybe it'll become a blue card benefit. Well, then, hey, I spent my money wisely, But otherwise, I don't know that they can do much else other than giving it to me for free.
Well, and the easy way to do that, Marianne, would be to attach it to the blue card annual pass as a free perk on that pass only. And then you're going to give it to your DVC members and you're going to take care of them as well. And Adam was saying, I really hope Disney comps DVC members, perhaps a blue card benefit, and annual pass holders as well. But
or at least seasonally, like they've done in the past. Remember back in the day, DVC, and you'd have fun to go to look at your perks and go, oh, look at the deal they got on tickets this year. Oh, you got to do it within these certain months, and you got, they don't have to do it all the time, but they at least offered it once in a while as a perk, or offered it for one day free to DVC or something. But give me a carrot, because outside of a carrot, I'm not interested in their stew. As far as DVC, it's just
poetic points for Brad on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
You want some carrots in that stew.
I need some carrots in my stew.
So for me, I liked the way Max Pass was included in that top tier pass. And I really, really, really wish that would happen at Walt Disney World. Because then it would come back in and say, hey, look, you get it in the top tier pass. I would even say, let's throw it at the blue card DVC Florida Gold equivalent pass. And that is a benefit and a perk that they're throwing DVC members that's unique to them, right? It comes in platinum. It comes in DVC pass, which is the only two that we can have. To me, that would be awesome. And it would be an awesome perk and a benefit. And it would start to justify some of that high $7,200 price difference between a blue card contract and a resale contract.
Now, what you're basically, when you said that, if I'm understanding correctly, you were pointing out the fact that if you have an annual pass at Disneyland, Max Pass was included.
In the old system,
in the old system. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Okay. Just making sure.
Right. If you had what they called like their signature pass or something along those lines, It's the one that I had because I had so many trips there.
Yeah, not basic pass, but the more upper graded ones. Yep.
And
Do
then
the
I
same
think
thing.
I think they offered an annual pass version of Max Pass that you could add on. I think it started at 75 and it got up to like 125 or 150. Don't quote me on that, but there was something if you were a normal annual pass member, you could do a one-time fee and get this, and it was pretty much worth it. So I hope that's on the table for something for them to come back in and do as well. Ron says, Captain Obvious here, for me getting a DVC discount would certainly make it more appealing to members as well. So maybe it's $10 a day instead of 15, right? That would be a great one. Nick is saying, if they continue with the early 30 minutes in the morning and late hours for on-site guests, I'm not sure DVC members would even need it. That could be the case, but some of those deals you can't rope drop a lot.
I just did 4 trips, at least. Actually, I did about 6 or 7 days at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
There's the perfect example. I can get in 30 minutes early and I can get one of them done quick. I can get another one done reasonable, and then I'm done. The rest of them are all ready.
Yep.
There's no getting on.
Amy points out this time-based option over at Universal where you get the Express Pass after 4 p.m. for their highest pass option, which is a great thing to do for locals who are going to work in the day, come hit a park for a night.
Good point.
Now, if they were to just include this into it, and granted, there's not going to be a lot of passes left after 4 p.m., but if they did it, it'd be something, okay? It'd calm down the natives a little bit, okay? Which is the best that we could ask for as well. And Frederica is saying for the price of the Premier Key at Disneyland, they should include something.
Yes.
For $1,400, yes, I agree with you 100%.
Come on.
Okay, so if we don't have any more comments here, Gina, I'll let you come back in and do them. We'll come in and wrap this show up with some final thoughts. Marianne, what do you got for us? What's your wisdom, your final punch on this deal?
Okay, so yeah. I always say that I'm cheap and I'm not going to spend the money, but I always end up spending the money. So
the mouse gets all the money. We started with that.
Yeah, the mouse gets all the money. So it'll end up being that way. But what may change for my family, and people have said it, more resort-only stays, but what may change for my family with the losing Magical Express and having to rent a car, we're going to have a lot more flexibility. And my family may end up staying at Disney to spending all of our money over at Universal. I've got bigger kids that like bigger, wilder, faster rides. And I'm staying basically at DVC on my DVC dues at this point. I've already paid off my contract, but I don't have to eat or shop or buy tickets to Disney. I can buy them at Universal and drive across town to do it.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. Or you could rent out the DVC points through DVC Rental Store, take that pile of cash and go talk to somebody like Brad, who's a travel agent, and I'm sure he'd be glad to sell you a package that included this Max Pass service over at Universal for staying in their deluxe resorts, and you'd still have extra money in your pockets after paying for that.
So, there's that, but my heart is my heart is a Disney heart. I love the walking in and looking at Main Street and seeing the castle at the end.
And luckily, you don't need a Max Pass for that yet.
Thank you, Lord. Okay. I don't need a Max Pass for that yet. And there is still a standby line, and we'll just play heads up in the standby line and enjoy it because we know with DVC, it isn't our last trip, right? Don't be sad, Dad. We're coming back, right?
Yep. So, Brad, final thoughts here.
I've heard that somewhere before. I'm going to say kudos to what Marianne said. It's so much, almost exactly the same. For us, I think right now, if I was me, when I first bought my first contract, so 17 years ago, this would be very frustrating and this would be hard because my kids were little and telling them, no, we're not going to be doing this. I'm with Marianne. It's like, yes, I'm just writing a bigger check because the reason I spent all that money is to give them a magical experience. So I'm not going to cut it off now. I just spent $5,000. I'm not going to save a few hundred to prove a point. But here's the reality. My kids are grown. There's no grandkids yet. One day soon. And I've told my kids already, the grandkids can come with us on our trips, but you're on your own from now on. So they pay for their own. So for us, really, I can, like Chad said several times, I can go to the park and I can just, if it's too packed and too crazy, I can just go watch the fireworks. I just made this last trip out to Disney World, and the main reason I went, I had a ticket to burn up, and the only thing I wanted to make sure I got done, I wanted to make sure I did the food and wine kiosks. I wanted to make sure I did the show at Epcot, which I'd never seen that one, the filler show, and then I wanted to see fireworks again on Main Street. And I filled in everything else that I could on the way. And if it was too much, I just went back to the room. I'm good. I'll write it again. I've written it plenty.
Yeah.
So this, we said it earlier. I'm sorry. I'm going to draw it to a close. I don't have a problem with Disney Genie. I'm not going to say, well, I'm done with Disney. There's no way I'll ever be done with Disney. We do the split trip every time now, Marianne. And there's a feature they offer at Universal called Take Two Transfer. Write that down. Take Two Transfer. You pay for it. It's reasonable. The bus will pick you up from the airport, drive you to Universal. You stay on site. When you're ready to transfer to Disney, it picks you up. It takes you to Disney. It will take you to your locations. Well, now it won't work anymore. They'll have to come up with a new plane because before I got Magical Express free on that last leg. Anyway, so here's the thing for me, Disney Genie, it won't make me stop loving Disney, and it won't make me stop going to Disney, but it simply doesn't appeal to me. If there's something I'm missing it's the only way I'm going to get to see it, I might buy it one time.
Yeah.
It's just not part of my plan.
My thoughts are, we just had a $20 per day per person price increase, even with annual passes. Okay. It's to get what you got back. You're going to pay $20 a day. I know they priced it at 15, but they already put the tea leaves out there. It's going up to 20 soon. So it's just another cost increase on top of some other takeaways that have happened, which is kind of what made everybody so mad. Now, I did not come up with this quote. This is not an original Chad quote, but I like it so much, I'm stealing it, and I wish I knew who I was stealing it from, okay? But as Disney fans, we are used to Disney creating such awesome experiences inside their parks and resorts that we're like, shut up, Disney, and take my money, okay? With this deal and this flip of the script, Disney has now came back into it and said, you know what, fans, in order for you to get the same level of stuff that you used to get, you shut up, we're taking your money. Okay? It's just another price increase. That's what it is. I think it really is going to benefit the way that people do rope drop. And in order to maximize this, you're going to have to do rope drop and be on that and just stacking up those passes. And you'll do that until the point where the system has oversold and you won't get as many as you used to get, okay? I think while it's new, some people aren't going to be doing it. Eventually, it'll catch on, and you'll be back to your 3 to 4 plus fast passes a day, and it's just another price increase. That's all that it is, and it stinks that it's a price increase, and it stinks that it's not included in the annual pass. The only thing you guys can do is let Disney know you're disappointed on that, but I don't really think they care. And the number one people that I think this thing benefits is not the fans. I think if you're really upset about it and you want to come back in and you want to benefit from this, don't spend your money on a Disney vacation. Spend your money on Disney stock. Become a shareholder in this, and you will win from this Max Pass Genie change system, right? Because it is purely designed for the shareholders to benefit. I really don't think, net things said and done, it's going to make things all that much better. But it will make it better for the shareholders. That's kind of my thoughts on this. Thank you guys for tuning in, everybody. I do look forward to this. I do hope Disney takes some of the feedback from the fans and from the community and starts to come back in and make tweaks and changes and do a little bit better job explaining things and somehow calm down the natives, because they have literally I haven't seen a fire this big. You know, there was Ohana Gate, like that died down quick.
Mr. Toad,
Mr. Toad,
all
right?
died now.
Yeah, this
This one's
too
gonna last.
will die down, okay?
Yeah.
But this isn't going to be as easy fix as bringing back noodles in a restaurant, okay? This is a major change that took major analytics and programming and time to do. So the best thing that we can hope for is they come back in and they modify it and they soften it and make it a little bit more palatable to us, the fans. And so that being said and done, Ben Young says, I'm becoming a shareholder to vote Shayback out. Okay. Well, that's another benefit you might want to consider, right? As well. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will be back in 2 weeks. Please tune in to our Facebook page. We'll be going live over the next couple of weeks as I am going to be in Walt Disney World quite a bit as I'm there shopping and taking care of some appliances and various things, preparing for my move. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great night. We will be back in 2 weeks. So good night.
Good night.